Hello everyone. Welcome to the AI for All channel. Today, we're going to embark on a fascinating journey through the history of artificial intelligence. From its humble beginnings in the 1950s to the remarkable innovations shaping our world today, AI has become an integral part of our lives. This journey will be divided into 7 main topics. First, we'll talk about 1. The roots of artificial intelligence, the first ideas. Then, we'll explore 2. The first practical steps. Next, we'll discuss 3 advances and challenges in the 1970s to 1980s, before moving on to 4. The AI Renaissance in the 1990s to 2000s. After that, we'll cover 5. The revolution of deep learning and modern AI. Following this, we'll discuss 6. AI in the future, opportunities and ethical concerns, and finally, we'll conclude with 7 final thoughts and conclusion. Get ready to discover how AI has evolved over the decades and how it continues to shape our world. Let's get started. 1. The roots of artificial intelligence. The first ideas. The history of artificial intelligence begins with the attempt to understand the nature of intelligence itself. We can trace the first ideas about AI back to the famous British mathematician and computer scientist, Alan Turing. In 1950, Turing wrote a seminal paper titled Computing Machinery and Intelligence, in which he posed a fundamental question: can machines think? At the time, this was an almost unimaginable idea. Until then, machines were viewed as mere tools for performing calculations or specific mechanical tasks, but thinking, in a profound sense, was something exclusively associated with the human mind. Turing didn't stop there. He went further and proposed what is now known as the Turing test. This test aimed to assess a machine's ability to exhibit intelligent behavior indistinguishable from that of a human. In the original experiment, Turing imagined a scenario where a person would interact with 2 entities through written exchanges. One of these entities would be a human, and the other would be a machine. If the person couldn't distinguish which one was the machine, we could say that the machine thought. The Turing test remains an important reference in the philosophy of computer science, even though its practical implementation remains a significant challenge. The central point of Turing's proposal wasn't just about simulating intelligence but about the ability of machines to deceive humans into believing they were interacting with another human. This is essential to what we understand today as artificial intelligence, the idea that, at some level, machines can process information, learn, make decisions, and ultimately appear intelligent. Shortly after Turing's proposal, ideas about artificial intelligence began to gain momentum. In the 1950s, the field of computer science was beginning to solidify, and visionary researchers like John McCarthy and Marvin Minsky started to formally explore the concept of intelligent machines. It was then, in 1956, that these scientists organized the famous Dartmouth Conference, an event considered the official birth of AI as an academic and scientific field of study. The event, known as the Dartmouth Conference, was where the term artificial intelligence was first coined. There, McCarthy, Minsky, and others like Claude Shannon and Nathaniel Rochester openly discussed the idea that all aspects of learning or intelligence could, in principle, be described with enough precision for a machine to simulate them. In other words, they believed that the human mind, in all its complexity, could be reduced to a set of rules and processes that could be replicated by computers. This was the formal beginning of AI research, and the excitement was palpable among scientists at the time. These early years of research were filled with optimism. The Dartmouth Conference scientists had high expectations for AI, believing that within just a few decades, machines would be capable of performing tasks that seemed impossible at the time. This confidence came from the rapid advancement of computing and the belief that the human brain operated similarly to a computer, just on a more complex scale. One of the first practical milestones in AI was the creation of programs that simulated certain aspects of human reasoning. Alan Newell and Herbert Simon, 2 prominent computer scientists of the time, developed a program called Logic Theorist in 1955. This program is widely regarded as the first functional example of AI. The Logic Theorist was designed to prove mathematical theorems, something that was previously seen as a purely intellectual task and therefore beyond the reach of machines. The program successfully solved more than 38 theorems and even found a more elegant solution to one theorem than the one officially recorded. This was a revolutionary moment as it demonstrated that logic and reasoning, typical human cognitive abilities, could be successfully replicated by a machine. In addition to the logic theorist, another significant advancement was Frank Rosenblatt's work in 1958, which introduced the concept of the perceptron, an artificial neural network designed to recognize patterns. The perceptron was one of the first models to attempt to simulate the human brain's learning process. It could be trained to recognize specific patterns in data, a concept that would become central to the development of AI in the following decades. Though the perceptron had its limitations and faced criticism in the subsequent years, it paved the way for what we now know as artificial neural networks, the foundation of many advances in machine learning and deep learning. Even with these progresses, the technical limitations and the superficial understanding of the complexity of the human mind posed significant barriers to AI's expansion. Machines were still extremely limited in terms of computational power, and the available algorithms were rudimentary. Furthermore, there was the challenge of processing and understanding the vast number of variables and uncertainties involved in simulating intelligence. Although early successes showed AI's potential, they also revealed that the path ahead would be long and full of unexpected challenges. Nonetheless, these early steps were crucial in laying the foundation for what would become one of the most revolutionary fields of the 21st century. Even without reaching the high expectations of the time, early AI scientists planted the seeds of a movement that would profoundly transform the world of science, technology, and society. Next topics: 2. The first practical steps, and 3. Advances and challenges in the 1970s to 1980s. Did you enjoy the content? Don't forget to subscribe and like the AI for All channel to stay up to date with the latest in technology and artificial intelligence. See you next time.